Hello, beautiful Kim. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome to have you on the Magnetic Mama Spotlight series. So excited to showcase all the beautiful women that we have in the group. And I actually met you a couple of weeks ago where you invited me to your beautiful workshop, which is really teaching mums how to have a really great work-life balance. But I'm not here to introduce you. So I would love you to in a nutshell, explain what you do. So what do you do?
Well, thanks for having me here, Leonie. It's great to see you again.
Yeah.
And I will try and very succinctly describe what I do. So, which over time has evolved and has gotten a bit easier, which is good. So the way that I like to describe it is that I help mums in business to make time for everything that matters to them, whether that be themselves, their health, their family, their business. Because to me, it's really important to have that work life. I call it mix, but a lot of my clients actually do use the word balance.
Yeah.
And I think that's because everyone wants to feel a sense of balance. They want to feel like they can have it all, and whatever that means to them, so that they don't have to, make sacrifices or miss out on anything, essentially. I mean, yeah, we all want to live a full life.
Absolutely. And I know that you're on holiday right now.
Yay!
And that is just absolutely making time for weekends away or going away with the kids or on a retreat, wherever you want to go. I think it's something that's really important that we don't do this enough. We don't take the time enough to kind of relax and replenish. And we know by doing that, we'll be a lot more efficient in everything that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we actually plan our family trips 2 weeks, well, at least 2 weeks a year, but 1 week at the beach twice a year, because we really love the beach and it's something that we want to live at the beach in the future. So yeah, it definitely is about recharging and replenishing so that we can, go back to our reality, and have had some fun and time off. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? You can be really present and you can really enjoy those moments, and it's just a break from all the daily grind. So yeah, high five to holidays. So everything I'm asking the mums is, it's such a beautiful way for you to share what you do, but people really buy why. They buy why you're doing it because there's a lot of mums out there who are helping other mums. And they all have their own personal story. So Kim, why do you do what you do? Like, you could go and get a full-time job and work for someone else, but it may not fill your soul. So why do you have this passion to help mums like me and all the mamas in this group find this blend or this mix that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the story that comes to mind is when I first had become a mum and I went back to my corporate job. I've called my business Undercover Mum, which is about, like having that sense of curiosity about, well, how is everybody else doing it? And, what does having it all look like for other people? So I was really curious when I went back to work as a mum. And I actually was talking to a manager and, I was saying, well, how do you do it and what works for you? And she said, oh, I just decided that I can't be a good mum and be good at my job. So I chose to be good at my job, and I'm just letting other people look after my children, and I've just had to let that go. And absolutely no judgment for those choices, but it did make me feel a bit sad because I don't believe that. I believe that if you want to be a good mum and be good at your work or whatever else it is in your life, that you can be. So that's really why I started my business, because I want to empower women to feel like and know that they can have and be whatever they want to be.
Absolutely. And I very much believe in your message. And when I came to your workshop, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what mums need to hear. They need to know they're not alone, and they need to know that we're here. We can all be here to support each other. So what's your deepest desire, or what's your vision? Like, what do you think you're actually here for, on this planet, in this realm, universe, whatever you want to call it? If you were to die tomorrow, a bit harsh, but I actually think about this quite often, which is a bit strange, but I often think, have I, up until this point, done enough, in terms of what I've achieved? And I'd actually be quite happy.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
so I'd be quite happy with what I'd done so far in this life. Not that we want to go down that road, but you know, if you were in that situation, people always regret what they don't do.
Yes.
And so what do you think you're here for? And, you know, what do you want to, I guess, change? Or is there a legacy that you want to leave your children?
That's a big question, isn't it? I guess the first thing
I
the first
told
thing that,
you were meant to be by the pool with a cocktail. We're gonna get right down in there.
oh no, this is a nice break from relaxed mode. No, I have been thinking about this for sure. Look, honestly, and this might sound a bit controversial, but I would love to eradicate mum guilt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah, it's huge. And I get asked about it all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. It's whenever I get interviewed, people always are like, now tell me what you think about mum guilt. And yeah, it's real and it's out there. But I mean, that's why I want to help mums, is so that they can make choices without feeling guilty, or at least if they did feel the guilt, to know what to do with it, because I think that's half the battle, isn't it? You know, you can become quite consumed by it, and it can be quite debilitating. So yeah, I mean, my vision is that my business won't even be needed in the future, because, or, you know, the type of work that I do, because working mums will just feel like they can make any choice they want to, as long as it's in the interests of them and their families, and they can live a guilt-free life.
Yeah, it's a very powerful emotion, and whenever I'm asked about it, which is also often actually, I say, look, you feel it, you acknowledge it, you use it as a teacher or a guide, but then you really just let it go. And I actually made a video last night with my son, my 8-year-old, who's wanting to be more, I guess, parented now by the male figures in his life. And I've kind of had to surrender to that as mother. And a lot of it comes from how I feel guilty that I went through a divorce. And, you know, I wasn't present for about a year or so when he was younger because I was going through a divorce. So there's guilt around that. You know, I don't want to let go of being a mother, but I have to surrender into the fact that he's turning into a young man now. You know? Anyway. So guilt is there, serves a purpose. I wrote my book because I felt guilty. You know, it can be something wonderful, but I think when we hold on to it, it's very harmful, very, very harmful. And, you know, even sending little Luna to daycare this morning, she didn't really want to go. She hasn't quite gelled with the carers yet.
Oh, okay.
You know, like she's still, she's still figuring it out, and she gets really sad. And we're kind of like, we know she'll find her place there, but we're not going to not send her because we feel guilty.
Yeah,
so,
it takes time.
Yeah, it definitely takes time, and I think this is great for kids to go off and be independent in the world. So I think guilt, yeah, that's my opinion of guilt, that we will always feel it. You know, it's same as anger and frustration, but the way I guess we internalize it and then externalize that is managed for, you know, we're in control of that. So that's a wonderful vision, you know, to just eradicate that, so that women can have this life where they have a beautiful business and they raise beautiful children and they really live their dream life. So let's go there. Like, let's talk about, what would your ideal day be if you know, money and time were no issue? What would you actually be doing in your day that really, really lights you up?
Yeah, well, I would fill my day with all the things that I love. Well, I love to sleep in, but I couldn't sleep in too late because, you know, then I'd waste my day sleeping. But a bit of a sleep in till 7 a.m. Now, that might sound like not a sleep in, but trust me, in my house, that is a sleep in. My children are up at 5 a.m. That is a sleep in. And then having breakfast with my husband and my family, which we actually usually do. So not too far from my actual day. And then, you know, taking the kids to daycare, so then I can spend some time working in my business and on my business as well. So having some, you know, some amazing clients to work with, and then maybe going out for lunch. I like to go out for lunch, maybe with some friends. That'll be nice. I missed one of the most important things I like to do in the morning, and that is to go to the gym. So to do a gym class as well. So we'll fit that in too. And then like having a massage in the afternoon would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of me time.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Beautiful.
And And then ultimately would love to have a date night with my husband at night, or go out with some girlfriends.
Yeah, beautiful. So obviously we live in the real world, and we are mums and businesses, and we have time constraints and we have financial constraints. So what's the biggest struggle you've overcome in your I guess in your business or your journey as a motherhood? And is there a block around, do you feel there's anything that's stopping you getting to your ideal day?
Good question. Probably when I did go through a phase where I thought that I could, so it was after I'd had my second baby, I thought that I could run my business and not have to put her into daycare at all. And I tried to do that, but it was a struggle for sure.
Yeah.
And, it was not too bad on days when she was having long naps, for instance. There's that whole nap time period where you can get lots of things done. But it's not a reliable time of day because, well, for my children, they never went to sleep at the same time of day every day. So then, realizing that wasn't really going to work for my business. So I, started to put her into daycare, and it's a similar thing that you were talking about with, that it's, the best thing for your family, because it means that you will have more likely to have a thriving business if you can, put them in childcare for a part of the week. But that initial, emotional drop-offs, and there was a bit of a challenge for sure.
Yeah. Look, that can be really challenging. Is knowing that your kids need to leave you, but running a business with young kids is impossible. It's absolutely impossible when you're, and something I've always recommended is that you definitely separate that. You definitely have your days. And I know you love to be structured. I've seen your idle week, your actual week. It's quite amazing. And I personally feel like you can't be sending emails. You can't be doing video calls. Like, even yesterday, I was doing a Facebook Live and Lael comes in and I'm like, of course, it's like 3 minutes I'm online and he needs something. But actually there's something that I think that you might really resonate with that I was taught in business. And when you are working, on your business, a really great way to see how much time, and I think you'll love this because I know you're like a time management expert, is to use some colors and go through and work out how much time you're doing admin, bookkeeping, whatever it is that needs to keep the business afloat, answering emails, that kind of stuff. Go use a red pen or a highlighter. And then go through and go, what's making me money, my sales, the time I'm spending on social media to bring in those sales. So you do that with blue. And then you go through and you use a black pen. And that's all about not it working in the business, it's working on the business. And it's basically thought leadership, partnerships, all the things that are going to bring in future products and partnerships and things. And it was a really interesting activity. And I get my clients to do this sometimes because so much of what we're doing is red. So much is admin, so much is stuff that's not generating income. And so my advice is outsource that if you can, right? Outsource anything that's not going to make you money or bring in income, or, the business needs to be financially viable. And so I'd love to know your thoughts around time, because it is something that we have limited amounts of as mums in business. And yes, we do have to sacrifice that. I love daycare days. Just love it. I don't feel guilty for that at all. And so how do you recommend mums manage their time? Is it scheduling? Is it doing something practical, like using color-coded? I know I've seen your, I guess, I've seen your spread. I know you were a town planner, right, as well. So
yes,
you're very good at planning. So what are your tips around helping mums work out what needs to be outsourced? What's a priority? Because time management is just essential. That's why I teach mindfulness. I'm like, you do one thing, you focus. What's your advice around that?
Look, I think if you want to make time for anything in your life, there does have to be a degree of planning. And I think the more specific you can be, the better. So there's a big difference between saying, this is just an example, I'm going to exercise 3 times this week, or I'm going to exercise Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 9 a.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m. and, you know, locking in those times and making sure that you've got the support there so that you can do what you need to do, and whether that, you know, potentially is non-negotiable time as well. So I know for me, that every time I want to prioritize something, it has to be fairly non-negotiable, unless, of course, there's some extenuating circumstance like an illness or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that a lot of people like spontaneity, and I'm not saying you can't have any spontaneity in your life, but when it comes to making time for what's important to you, whether it's, you know, in your personal life or your business, scheduling it in and making time for it in your week is the best place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a bit guilty of, you know, like we've got this amazing like Zen yoga space downstairs, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do yoga every morning. And of course I'm not, right? But I got up this morning and the kids were still asleep. It was 6 a.m. And, you know, it was the most beautiful. I was down there for an hour. It was just amazing. You know, like, and I really have no excuse, right? I should be getting up at least twice a week and doing this. And I think sometimes, you know, it's so hard to motivate yourself to do these things, but it's so essential. You know, it's so essential for your own self-care and the fact that you'll be a lot calmer and more, and whatever it is that floats your boat. I think you need to go there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need to go there.
Yeah, and I guess there's an additional thought process in there for me too. So whenever I'm like feeling a bit unmotivated about going to the gym, for instance, I say, like, I kind of have a chat to myself and I say, well, you know, are you going to regret not going, or are you going to regret going? Yeah. And the reality is you never regret going. So you never regret doing the thing that you wanted to do.
Absolutely.
But you regret not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just a really great analogy for life, really. You know, going back to what we were talking about before, and it's you just regret what you don't do. And so in business, in motherhood, we need this support, we need this collaboration. You know, we're just not meant to do it alone. And that's why, you know, you've got this beautiful business really helping mum, you know, organize their week, you know, plan meals, you know, really feel like they're in control of that side of motherhood. And scheduling in, you know, if you need to schedule in time to do nothing, like it's ridiculous, right? Like, but we
got to make time for it.
Yeah, you've actually, and you know, you've actually got to schedule in time to do nothing.
Yeah, otherwise, something else will eat up your time, as you know. Yeah. You know, otherwise you'll be tempted to go and do housework or do something else, probably for someone else, because we're such nurturing, you know, people as mothers that we often are not good at putting out what we need first.
Yeah, beautiful. So Kim, what's your biggest source of inspiration?
Honestly, when I'm spending time on social media or I'm reading an article online, and I see someone having that struggle of, you know, I have to sacrifice something in my life to have what I want, or I can't really have what I want. You know, that really actually inspires me to help people and to spread that message of, yes, you can have whatever it is that you want to have. And at the end of the day, like, for me, it's about where there's a will, there's a way. And I believe there's always a way. There's always a solution to any problem that you might be facing. And that's how I was brought up, with that belief.
Yeah, me too. I'm very solution driven. I mean, sometimes it's not great to always be the fixer, you know, like it's not your job to fix other people. Yes. But I like to provide the solution, and I like to see the silver lining, and that's mindset. Like my partner's very disciplined with his fitness and his exercise. He exercises every day and he eats really well, and he's really disciplined, you know, but he went in the army. They all go in the army when they're in Finland. It's part of their growing up. And that for him is just something that he's always got that. And I'm really like, wow, you're so good. Like, how can you not go down that rabbit hole and eat the chocolate and the ice cream? And, you know, like he'll be like, no. Sometimes obviously we go there, but it's quite amazing how discipline, self-discipline is really important for us to make these great choices, so that we do go to the gym and we do have time out. Because otherwise I know a time when, you know, especially when the kids are really little, it's just so mundane. you know, it's just over and you're not sleeping and you're feeling so exhausted. And
Mm.
it's really hard to eat well, and it's really hard to go to the gym and do yoga because you're just exhausted all the time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, making those little baby steps to find time to just refocus on yourself. And then of course you might go and have a coffee, but you're just sitting there thinking about the kids and the laundry and everything else, you know? So it's such a discipline to, when you take that time, like you go for a walk and you don't take your phone.
Yeah. And I think that comes with practice too, honestly.
Yeah.
Definitely gets easier the more that you do it. So if, like, I know if I'm going to go out and leave the kids with my husband, even though I know that he's completely capable of looking after them, I do feel a bit strange and a bit guilty, I suppose, if I haven't done it for a long time. So it is better to practice regularly and regularly making time for yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, Kim, thank you so much. I know you're on a holiday, and I'm really grateful because I was like, oh, wow, that's so kind of you. And of course, you're very relaxed and you're glowing and you've got
my
vibe.
beach hair.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So how can mamas find out more about you? Where would you like to direct them so they can just connect with you?
Yeah, so my website is definitely the best place because it's got all my social media channels depending on what you're on. And it's also got my blog on there too. And there's lots of blog articles about a lot of the things that we've already spoken about, Leonie. So it's www.undercovermum, which is mum.com.au.
Great. Well, I will add links as well.
Great.
I highly recommend that. I know you're quite active in the group, so a lot of people know your beautiful face. So I really appreciate you taking this time so that we can get to know you more. I think we should all be working together and we should all be supporting each other because we all have so many beautiful gifts to share. So thank you, my love, and enjoy the rest of your beautiful holiday with your family.
Oh, I'll try.
I know.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Take care.
Bye.